Welcome back, everybody, and Happy New Year to all of y'all. 2025, the first video of 2025, and I got my family on here with me. It's me. Bray is right next to me. Bray is my nephew, and next to us is going to be Seany Knox. That's our cousin, and then below it is my brother P and Bray's uncle, Seany Knox's cousin. So we all in here, but thank y'all for joining us today. We want to talk about Mike Matthews and Ryan Williams. We'll give y'all some thoughts on that. We want to talk also some about some of the tendencies that we've seen throughout the bowl games and playoff games and things like that, that I think maybe some teams might have looked at Tennessee and, the lack of what we were doing and maybe said, hey, we need to do this differently. And then, two, we will be picking games for the playoffs after all of that. So please do make sure to like and subscribe. And I want to start this thing off first with just thoughts on Mike Matthews. So number one for me, obviously we've been waiting to see what he's going to do inside of this transfer portal. At this point, y'all, the update sounds like he would have until about 10 a.m. tomorrow morning to take his name out of the portal, or it's not fully in at this point. Tennessee would have until 10 a.m. to put his name into the portal. From my understanding, with everything that I've read from the insiders and all that, it feels like he basically has done everything that he's supposed to do. Now he has to, say, I'm going to take my name away from this. Tennessee, don't put it into the portal. And if his name does go into the portal, we all, I think, feel pretty strongly that he is going to not be staying a Tennessee Volunteer, which kind of, that's been bringing me over the past day and a half personally, just thinking, who else could we go out and get that might be similar to a, Mike Matthews type? And, watching the way that Alabama looked yesterday versus Michigan, obviously, the quarterback for Alabama just looked horrible. Absolutely. I mean, just absolutely horrible. Golly, he looks horrible. I don't know that he's even draftable. And the sad thing about it is he played so pathetic that I don't know. I think they're going to push him out. They're going to say, listen, we don't know what your draft stock's going to end up being. It might be at absolute zero, but you can't come back here. Because if you look at guys like Ryan Williams and all their other wide receivers, I mean, they're like, oh my God. You can just see the visible, it's just like that type of stuff. And honestly speaking, y'all, we talked about this throughout the season. I saw a lot of that with Mike Matthews. Go back to that game. Go back to the game versus the previous game that we just played. There was a route. Yeah, I think it might have been like RPO or something that Nico is looking to Mike Matthews and he's riding. He ain't even trying to do nothing. And then so Nico, he's looking at him. He's like, dang, now I have to run. So, and there were several times when I've seen things like that happening with Mike Matthews. So, like we said, he's been visibly frustrated, and he might really want to change the scenery. But Ryan Williams and all of Alabama's wide receivers might want the exact same thing. So I want to get y'all's thoughts on that real quick, because the players who are in bowl games or the players who are in playoff games would have 5 games after their bowl game or college football playoff game ends to enter into the portal. Okay, so Ryan Williams could still potentially do it, but how do y'all feel? Do y'all think that that's a feasible thing? Do y'all see Ryan Williams hitting the portal period? And what's y'all's thoughts on Matthews? Bray, I'm gonna start off with you.
I don't know if Ryan's gonna hit the portal because I thought they kind of build their whole future around him. So I don't know if he's gonna hit the portal for real. And then but if Mike Matthews leaves, then that's a big loss because that's pretty much the future of the receiver room. So if he really does leave, that's definitely a big loss.
Yeah, P, what you think?
I don't know who Bama's quarterback is next year. So I don't know what their situation is. It's hard for me to imagine him leaving, but you never know. These days these kids are leaving just willy-nilly. So I could see him leaving, and he might be a guy you want to look at. I will say this though, and I know the Michigan game was a little bowl game, whatever, but I don't know, just seeing him on the sideline, they were losing like 21-0, whatever, 17-0, whatever it was, and he's over there laughing and joking. Like, to me, I don't know if just something about him. To me, I don't know if I want him on my team. I don't know. I don't know the kid personally, but just from things I've seen, he can play and all that, but I don't know if he's going to be a guy that's going to go out there and stay locked in. I know he's young, he's 17, whatever, but I don't know. But then as far as Mike Matthews, losing him obviously hurts, but I'm to the point where I don't care if we got freaking Mike Matthews and freaking Ron Williams and all these 5, 6, 7-star guys. If our scheme's going to stay the way it is, it doesn't matter. So honestly, I don't care. Like I'm to the point where I don't even care about none of the players, none of that. I just want to see what the scheme's going to look like. But losing Mike Matthews, that is huge. but hopefully he freaking flips it and comes back. Hopefully.
Yeah, and so let me just say this real quick. We don't know for sure that Mike Matthews is going to enter. I'm just saying, and y'all know that I felt pretty confident that he would be coming back. He might still come back, but I would say if we don't hear nothing by the end of today, then he's probably gone. So like that's where we're at, and he could have. I mean, he's had days to take his name out, but also P. I'm gonna come back to you because let me ask you this: would you rather have Ryan Williams, either starting on the outside or maybe rotating in, or would you rather have like a Dayton Sneed? Because that's literally where Tennessee's at right now. Okay, like we've got true freshmen who can come in, but I mean, which one would you rather have?
Well, of course, I'd rather have Ryan Williams. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a stud.
Yes. I'm just saying, like, that's my point. Is that we have to? I don't know if we have to go out and get a player of that ilk, but obviously, if you go out and get a player that's that talented, that did as much as he did as a true freshman, that's made plays and has made things happen, that would be better than what we've got right now. Because right now, especially if Mike Matthews leaves, we don't have a whole lot. We got Chris Brazzell coming in on the outside. We have Travis Smith coming in as a true freshman who could play on the outside. And then, I mean, it's pretty much makeshift stuff. And we don't know who else is going to be in the portal. So another reason I'm throwing it out there like that, P, is just because I want for people to understand that Tennessee does need to go get somebody. Like, but just because people will sit here and say, well, we're going to be fine with what we have. Hell no, we're not. And I don't think that Tennessee's in a situation where we can be overly choicey about who we're going to get because we don't have nobody, and he would be obviously the best option that would be out there. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, I'm not, and I agree with that, but that's kind of my point too. Is it doesn't have to be a Ryan Williams type guy. I mean, heck, we can go get. I feel like the portal is going to have everything you need, and I mean, may not be a superstar, but I think we're going to have everything we need in the portal. And if we do lose Mike Matthews, that's got to free up some money. So I think we could go add 2 or 3, pretty solid pieces. And like I said, if the scheme improves, we don't have to have these super, super duper guys. We just need guys that can freaking run and catch. You know what I'm saying? So I think we'll be fine.
It goes back to coaching, Mm-hmm. I remember us having coaching staffs that like actually brought 3 stars in, but we coached them up. And you would have thought coming in he was a 5-star. Mm-hmm. So, and then also too, like I was saying where the Branch brothers are still available. I would like for us to go target them.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this literally gives us an opportunity if we do acquire them to build pieces around them. We got Nico, and then you bring in somebody like the Branch brothers. I mean, who knows what could happen? I would like to see Boo Carter. That's a name that people haven't really been more, throwing out there. Like I feel like he's a Travis Hunter type player. He can do it both ways, so that's something to pay attention to as well.
Yeah, so both of those players, so Zach Branch and then Boo, those are both going to be slot bodies, which is great. But we also still have Braylon Staley, so we're going to be. I mean, if we can go out and get Zach Branch, which he does have to come up on a visit, and actually we should be looking out for some smoke behind that today because the quiet period starts today, which means that if he is going to come up, he can start to come up today. So we'll see what happens with that behind the scenes from the insiders and all of that. But that would be 3 very good. Slot types of bodies. I think that we would be so shorthanded on the outside that right now you got to start looking at Braylon Staley and say, hey, listen, you got to play inside and outside. He's 6 foot tall, so I think that he's tall enough to be able to do it. I think his skill set's better for the slot, but he's going to have to be ready to do all of that type of stuff. So Tennessee is in a tight spot, and I'm just kind of throwing out names right now of some teams that have lost. Whether they won or lost bowl games doesn't really matter. Once their bowl game is over, we got to tamper, okay? Like I would sincerely, it is my sincerest hopes that we've been talking to Ryan Williams and some of those other wide receivers at Alabama because number 5 looked good too. I can't think of his name, but they got some guys. We need guys, and it's not just about Alabama. It's Bray. Listen, it's about every single team in the entire country. Nobody's off limits. There's no rules, okay? There's rules, but they're not being enforced. So there's no rules. Let's go get some folks. Let's start tampering. We should have been did that. Yeah. But we're going to need, I mean, what do y'all think? 2, 3 wide receivers? I think if Mike Matthews leaves, bare minimum is 2. And I think just to feel good about it, you need 3.
Yeah.
What do y'all think?
No, yeah, I agree. I think I'm not as like like I guess worried about it as you are right now, just because I mean, I'm gonna get more worried as this thing moves along, and if we haven't freaking made some acquisitions. You know, what I mean, that's my deal. I just feel like the staff is. I mean, you're not gonna show up with no team, I would assume. So hopefully they're gonna get into the daggone portal, and I just feel like they're gonna be able to pick some guys that they like. I mean, I'm not worried yet, but maybe I should be. I don't know. You're making me want to get a little worried here.
No. Listen, I'm not saying that I'm worried. What I'm saying is it's crunch time. We heard that this month Tennessee's going to go out and be very active inside of the portal. So it's not about being. I know that we're going to go target some folks. I'm just trying to lay out to everybody what Tennessee is up against and what we should be targeting, and you know how high the sense of urgency is. It's not like, oh my gosh, we're never going to get anybody. Like, there's no way. We have plenty of time. But I do think that you need to strike quick. If you want these better players, you got to go get them right now because everybody else wants them too. Bring them in right now. I would bring them on campus. I say, hey, listen, I'm gonna give them a really nice offer. Okay, I might go 10% over market value, and I say, listen, this is the offer. It's on the table. We showed you what we can do for you. You make the decision right here, right now on campus, or this deal is gone. I would start doing some of that because, see, I don't think that there's enough of that. We got to start playing some of that hardball stuff. And if we don't do that, then, hey, man, we could end up losing. And that's, I think, to me, that's, to my point, more of the sense of urgency is, hey, like, we can't be missing now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't be outbid now. Everything's we got to put all the chips on the table to go out and get some better playmakers at the wide receiver position, or we need to be getting a much better offensive line because, like we talked about with the Patriots, you can have a great offensive line that can run block, pass block, have a great quarterback, and then the wide receiver stuff doesn't matter as much. But you also, Pete, to your point, the scheme's got to be on point. So several things need to happen, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. But Bray, what are your thoughts on that? Just with like Tennessee's roster and depth and stuff, and they don't want to come to Sean.
I don't really even know, but I mean the receiver position definitely has to get better. They definitely got to get some more playmakers there for sure, because that's definitely the biggest thing, especially in Tennessee's offense. Have people that can go down the field, and you really saw into that this year. So I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. So Sean, what are you thinking? Do you think Tennessee needs to go out and get at least 2 more wide receivers?
Yeah, I mean, at this point right now, it just looks like the team. It just looks like everything is just blowing up right before our eyes. That Ohio State loss really did something to that locker room. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's with the morale or what's going on with the players, or if there's something going on with the coaches, but something's going on down there in Rocky Top to where people feel like they need to leave and utilize the transfer portal and explore other opportunities. So if I'm Josh Heupel, I mean, I'm even getting with guys like Coach Barnes. Like, look what Coach Barnes is doing down there with the basketball program currently. He's also somebody that has utilized the transfer portal to acquire like Dalton Connect, who we saw just have a monster season last year, and this year Chaz Lanier, a Nashville native that's actually hooping this year for Tennessee as well. I'm getting with somebody like Coach Barnes if I'm Josh Heupel to, what's the strategy? What are you doing to bring these type caliber players here? Because I'm gonna be honest, we haven't really had like a superstar on Tennessee in quite some time. I mean, like an explosive receiver. I mean, like the last explosive player I could think of is Hendon Hooker. I mean, obviously he was recent, but we're not used to having superstar talent in Tennessee as of late these past few years.
Well, so I would have to disagree with you there, because even if you talk about a guy like Milton, so Milton came in up under Coach Heupel, and Milton wasn't a superstar when he was in Michigan, but we know that he had extreme arm talent. He was actually the starter before Hendon Hooker went down, so we went out and got him. We went out and we got
He was all right. I can't really.
Whoa. So I'm saying he wasn't all right. So what is it? Just let me finish this, because all these players, there were 4- and 5-star guys whenever we got them, but then they got on campus, and the point is they didn't play well with us. So we also have Lance Hurd, who we just got last season, and we got him to play left tackle. He was the number 1 offensive lineman period in his class. I want to say he was the number 1 offensive lineman in the transfer portal. We go out and get him. John Campbell, he was the top 3 tackle in the portal whenever we went and got him. 4-star guy coming out of high school. Brew, 5-star guy. He's a transfer portal. you know, he was supposed to do some really nice things. Dante Thornton, he was a 4-star guy coming out of high school, didn't do a whole lot at Oregon, but we expected really big things. He looked good, not his first year, but his second year. Once we went him to the right spot, he looked good. Who else do we have here? Listen, Holden Stays, #1 tight end in the portal last year. Miles Kitzelman, he was up there. So, you know, obviously going out and getting players on defense. You know, Brazel, he was very, very highly sought after out of the portal. So it's not that Tennessee's, you know, not going out and getting really good talent and really good players for our football team. We're not using them right. That goes back to the scheme. It goes back to the scheme. It goes back to the coaching. And, you know, something else that I'll tell y'all, I was listening to Jason Swain yesterday, and I'm not going to put words inside of his mouth, but from what he was saying, what I gathered was, yeah, some changes need to be made on the offensive side of the football with the coaching staff. And it kind of felt like he was talking about the wide receivers and the offensive line. Changes need to be made. And I know I've kind of sat up here and I've said, hey, listen, you know, I'm not going to call for anybody's jobs, but let's just say this, right? Let's just say this. What if Mike Matthews does leave and we have barely any wide receivers left? Do you want to retain Coach Pope, or is it time for him to go? I just want to get y'all's thoughts. Bray, I'll go ahead and go to you because so Bray actually, and this is funny because I didn't realize this, but Bray recently visited USC, and he spent a lot of time with the wide receivers coach Dennis Simmons, who we just broke down yesterday, who we just talking about yesterday. So he knows him pretty well, and you know, we might gonna get on the phone with him here in just a minute and see if we can get him on over to Knoxville. Now, I'm just playing with him. Anyway, but Bray, what are your thoughts on that? Just kind of like as a younger athlete, what do you think about? Is it a problem? Do you think with the wide receivers coach, all these wide receivers leaving, especially if a guy like Mike Matthews leaves?
I mean, yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a problem, but I mean the way I look at like recruits, like if more people are leaving, then I could come in and play early, but it's really just about development. I mean, Tennessee receiver coach Levy hasn't really been developed the receiver, so I mean I don't know like what. I mean it really just depends on what you look at, but I definitely think it could go both ways.
Yeah. So okay, so P, what do you think about it? And I'm talking really more just about Coach Pope. Do you think that if Mike Matthews leaves, do you think it's time for Coach Pope to leave with him?
I mean, I would say so. I mean, heck, everybody's freaking leaving your room. And is Coach Pope, is he the one that's determining who can rotate in and who can't? Like, is that his call? I think he is. Yeah. So I mean, he's got to be out of here. You know what I mean? Like the receivers have pretty much sucked since he's been the guy. Okay, we tried to give benefit of the doubt. Seriously, let's get serious for 1 second here. You go back 2023, we said, is it Joe Milton? You know, is the offense dumbed down? Well, you know, it's probably the receivers. You go 2024, same thing. We have Nico Imalava, 5-star guy. Talk about superstar guys. That's a superstar guy right there. And, you know, the receivers are doing nothing. So I think Pope is not developing these guys. Really is what it comes down to. We like the energy that he has. Like, he seems like a guy that would be, you know, good to play for. Like he's going to be hard on the guys, but the players is not resonating with the players. And I mean, to me, if Mike Matthews goes, yep, he go right with him.
Yeah, right. Sean, what you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with both statements. You know, I just want to see more player development at this point.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of people. Excuse me. There are a lot of people who feel that same way. So it might be time for Pope to go. If Mike Matthews doesn't stay, then yeah, I think that at that point you say, all right, you know what, Pope, you're gone. And then you know what, while I'm at it, you know, while I'm cleaning stuff up, we're gonna clean up the whole doggone house, not just one room. Offensive line coach, Coach E, you need to go along with them too, because what the hell are the tackles doing? Why the hell are our tackles so damn bad? You're gone. Who else? Who else, guys? Come on.
I mean, those are really the main two guys. I mean,
that's probably
you can kind of get in Halsley's ear too and say, "Hey, Halsley, you know, are you drawing up these plays?"
For sure, Halsley. Halsley.
Are you coaching these quarterbacks? I mean, because seriously, why can't Nico hit the open guys? Like I was watching Boise State. Was that last night we were watching Boise State? I don't know who that little guy is they had, but he's out there slinging around, playing ball, making timely throws. So I mean, I thought you said we've got to clean the whole daggum house, and you know we'll clean the whole house, start fresh. And then hype. If it still ain't fixed, you know, you're next. You know, that's how the guy said for Vandy. Bama, you're next. You know, you're next. I'm kind of joking, but yeah, we do need to look at everybody. Everybody needs to be evaluated in the offseason.
Yeah. But Sean, you was sound like you were saying something.
I was just saying, I just feel like that's what's already currently happening with everybody transferring all these players. It's just like it's getting the house is being cleaned out. You know,
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, so I think that we're probably pretty much on the same page with that. There's, I guess we just have to wait and see. Hopefully, over the next few hours, we'll have some types of updates on what all is happening with that. But I would also say this for a guy like Matthews, because listen, absolutely love him, want him to stay 100%. He better figure out what he wants to do real quick, because as good as he is, whenever Ryan Williams hits that transfer portal, and same thing for Branch. Whenever Ryan Williams hits that transfer portal, he's number one. He's going to be the first player that everyone targets, and they're going to make sure that they have room for him first. Make sure that he's comfortable first. So if you're going to do something, you better do it real quick. Or you better be talking to Ryan Williams and say, hey, what are you planning on doing? Figure that out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously, because this is a business now. And folks want to play business that just benefits themselves, but the business works both ways. I can promise you that. So I actually think that Ryan Williams hitting the portal will be huge for Tennessee, because even if we can't go get him, it knocks some of the other players down to Tennessee. And I kind of hate to say it that way, but I think that we kind of, unless we go out and make a really nice change, which I think that Dennis Simmons would be a very nice change at the wide receiver spot, or even as a, offensive play caller or something, people have seen what he's done. They've seen his, everything. He has developed talent, big time talent. So,
maybe the LSU receiver coach.
What's his name? Do you know?
It was like Cortez Hankton or something.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, shoot, they're wide receivers.
They go to the league every year. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, all of them.
Oh wait, that's the same coach?
Yeah.
That's not the same coach, Bray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, look. So there's plenty of options for us to go out and upgrade, right? I mean, there's plenty of options. It ain't like we're holding on to folks from a lack of options. That's just stubbornness. And P, I think you said it perfectly. Hype, you better do what it takes, or you'll be gone, buddy. You'll be gone. Yeah, hey, listen, I get it. Tennessee sucked for like 20 years. I get it. Folks are just enamored with winning 10 ball games, and that's great. What happened to the championships? What happened to that's the standard? Because look, man, like we fired Coach Fulmer. What was he, like 10-2 or something when we fired? I mean, you know what I'm saying, or 9-3, and that was like, oh my God, he's got to go. He's got to go. So real Vol fans that have really been through this stuff for quite some time, y'all know what we're talking about here. We got to get better. And Hypo, you better start making some moves real quick. Don't sit on your hands and just wait around. Don't be Mr. Nice Guy. You better bring that dog on up out of you. And hey, you love those guys. You try to help them get some spots somewhere else. But your team's got to win. They're not helping us win right now. Then they got to go. Simple as that. 5-star players are leaving after their freshman season. And then all the other players inside their room are left. Okay, we're looking at you now, coach. Because guess what? No one did anything over these past couple of seasons. You got to go. You have to go. All right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I'm at with it. All right. So let me pull up some of this stuff. So let's kind of transition a little bit. Let's talk about some of the games that we previously watched, just bowl games and stuff. So y'all can see some of these bowl games, and just to kind of like refresh everybody's memory of what all's been going on. So we got that up, and now what I want to do here is bring up something. Really, to me, I think the Alabama versus Michigan game, that one was an eye opener for me, just from a play calling perspective, especially on defense. What we're looking at, y'all, are the pass blitz tendencies from all the teams, from all the games that we just talked about, all the games that we just looked at on the previous screen. These are the pass blitz tendencies. What do you notice about Michigan, guys? Right up at the very, very top. Their pass blitz rate was 74%. 74%. So I would say a pretty high pass rate is about 35%. You know what I mean? Like just for college football, about 35%. Tennessee was at about 35% throughout the course of the season, and we were at 22% versus Ohio State. I'm still pissed off about that. Horrible game management, horrible play calling, nutting up in the biggest moments. What does Michigan do versus these guys on the biggest stages? Versus Alabama, Jalen Milroe, team that Tennessee should have beat by 30 points inside of Knoxville. We barely blitz those guys because we're scared to death. We're scared to death. Michigan says, hey, we're not more talented than Tennessee, or, they might be close. We're definitely not more talented than Alabama is. What are we going to do? Well, we don't believe in that quarterback. We think he sucks. So we're going to speed him up. They got some great wide receivers. We're going to speed him up. 74% pass rush rate. Why can't Tennessee do that? That's my first point right there, as we're kind of going through it, because there has been some rumblings that maybe Tim Banks might be going somewhere else. I don't know exactly where. I don't even want to. Might be going somewhere else. So, would you trade Michigan's DC right now for Tim Banks? I mean that's not even really where I was going with it. But what do y'all think whenever y'all see Michigan blitzing at 74% and having success versus Alabama? Pete.
Man, I mean, that's the big head scratcher. I think a lot of all fans feel the same way. Like, why are we sitting back letting these guys pick us apart? I mean, be aggressive. Like, that's what when you were hired with Heupel, you guys said you guys are going to be aggressive on both sides of the ball. Well, why are we not blitzing any freaking body? Bring the corner, bring the nickel off the edge, bring the backers, bring the safety. Like, get exotic and stop playing so scared. Like I said, scared. Like, it's almost like we're playing not to lose. Mm-hmm. We're a team. We have to be aggressive. Like that aggressive edge. If you go back to 2021, 2022, offense and defense and special teams, like we were just aggressive. Like we're just taking shots. We're going for it on fourth down. We're blitzing. Heck, we might give a big play. Who cares? We're gonna go down and score when we get the ball. It doesn't matter. Like we've lost that aggressiveness, man. And I think that's a. I don't know who Michigan's DC is, but he's done a great job. He had his guys prepared against Ohio State, shut those guys down, and had them prepared against Alabama, which. Bama was kind of a little bit of a shell of themselves, I think. I think the Bama we saw that got blown by Oklahoma, I think that's the same Bama that Michigan has played. But either way, he has his guys prepared. And Tim Banks, he seems to not have us prepared in the biggest moments. And that, to me, is a huge red flag. And like I said, I'm open to making changes to anybody. So, hey, like I said, we got to look at all these things, look at all these coaches. But, yeah, Tim Banks, man, freaking blitz. Stop sitting back. 22% ain't going to cut it.
Yeah. And then too, like, we all know that the front end and the back end, right? So the line and the secondary, they work hand in hand. Well, we know that we had two shutdown cornerbacks. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, hey, we're going to put y'all in the best position possible, along with also putting our pass rush in the best position possible, we're going to say we're only going to bring four, make you, hey, front four, y'all prove that y'all are the best. We're going to put you in the most difficult position possible. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to go up against 5, 6, 7 people versus quick game. But you better be able to get there. And, oh, by the way, if they have any extended time, cornerbacks, we don't care about you. We're going to put you on an island for 4, 5, 6 seconds. We're not going to heat up a soul. We're not going to blitz a soul. That type of stuff irks the hell out of me. It infuriates me because we did it versus Georgia, which – if you really want to piss me off, go out there and lay an egg versus UGA 3-4 years back to back. And listen, those first 2 seasons, we didn't have the real talent. After that, we had the talent and we didn't have the coaching, but we had pretty much the same staff. How does that happen? I'm infuriated. And then you go out in a playoff game, you have 30, 40,000 of your fans travel up to the blistering cold, spending their hard-earned money right here before Christmas, and you have some nerve. You have some nerve, Coach Heupel, to tell me that we're going to not blitz, that we're going to not take advantage of some cornerbacks that suck on the outside and not do anything, not have this team ready to actually play a game.
Yeah.
And then we're not going to make any changes. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That irks me. So
that's the big thing for me, man. Like, we don't adjust. Like, make some adjustments. Try something different if it's not working. And then kind of to your point too, where was the aggressiveness? Like, I don't care if there's somebody down there deep covering the freaking middle of the field. Throw it up sometimes, dude. Like, heck, sometimes a long pick, a 40, 50-yard pass that's picked off is better than freaking a punt sometimes. So go ahead and throw it up and see if you make a play. Give you guys a chance, man. Like, the lack of aggressiveness in these big games is very alarming. And Heupel's got to get that fixed.
Yeah. What you think, man?
He's got to get it fixed. And then, like I said, like I was saying, just, the lack of confidence, especially on the road. I mean, I think how many road games we lose this year?
2.
we're just
three.
prepared. Yeah, so we lost all of our losses came on the road, so just it's just certain things that we got to kind of mitigate and kind of clean up moving forward. But I mean, I'm taking a look at the coaching staff, and if Heupel, if he likes his job, he needs to do the same.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm just going to kind of skim through some of the other ones. So Baylor blitzed at 63%, Boise State at 55%, South Carolina 52%, Washington at about 41%, Louisville at about 38.5%. Penn State was really low at about 28.3%. Now, Penn State's going up against a team that can't throw the football. We all know that they're going to be, running the daggone ball. So it makes sense that they're not going to be doing a bunch of pass blitzing. They were a much better team. They have a much better roster from top to bottom. You don't need the blitz in those situations because you expect to win, all right, easily. So they were able to kind of sit back and win that game. But I think that if they blitzed in, versus the pass, they probably would have won by even more. Do we even talk about all those other ones is less than 30%, to me, styles do make fights. I just wanted to pull up to show y'all that it does seem like a lot of teams in the playoffs. I mean, listen, 74%, that's the highest blitz total that I've seen maybe my whole life. That is very high. So, that's kind of how things are trending, I think, for the playoffs, and we might see more of that next season. Now, let's talk about the team versus the cover schemes, right? So this is coming from the offensive side. This is the coverages that the offenses have seen so far through the bowl games and throughout the playoffs. So the one up top, unknown. This is interesting because teams are mixing things up. If it's an unknown coverage, it means that it's some sort of a makeshift. Hey, like this is specific to the down and distance, to the formation. I haven't seen Tennessee do any of that. I mean, not that I know of.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's mostly been what people have been seeing, over the course of the playoffs and bowl games and things like that. But then it's cover one. Why is it so much cover one? Because a lot of teams are bringing the pressure. That's typically what you do is cover one and you're bringing pressure. Cover three. So we're seeing 1 and 3 high. What does that take away, Bray? Takes away the run and it takes away the inside passing stuff. Okay, so whenever you see odd coverages, that takes away run and it takes away inside passes. Whenever you see even coverages, it's easier to run on that and it's easier to throw the ball to the middle. Like there's more holes inside of those coverages, but especially more towards the middle. So playoff football, you tighten things up. You take away those strengths. You take away the middle. You take away the easy passes and you take away easy runs. So you got to be able to throw the ball outside the numbers. You got to be able to run outside the tackles and things like that. And also still be able to, dictate and run in between those tackles. But I just wanted to kind of put this up there for y'all just to kind of show you, hey, man, playoff football, this is how things are looking at this point. Bray, did you want to add something?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you was about to add something to it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But that's you better read some chats. You can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to go back up to the top and read some of these chats. I got to do it left-handed.
I'm still here, y'all.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you was here or not. All right, so let's just try to breeze through some of these. CTB Spiffy, thank you for joining us. Saying Happy New Year's. Go Big Orange. Happy New Year's to you.
New Year.
Ethan saying I don't see Ryan Williams transferring. Hey, you could be exactly right. I don't know. That's maybe we're just dreaming here, but we want to throw it out there just because he did look visibly frustrated, and so did a lot of the other wide receivers. It might not just be from the quarterback; it could also be from some of the scheme stuff. But I do think that Bray was probably right. Probably more based off of the quarterback, and I think they have Ty Simpson coming in, who who is it?
Keelan Russell from Duncanville.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But he's gonna be a freshman. But so he. Yep, he could be good. Ethan's also saying Happy New Year's, everyone. Happy New Year's to you, Ethan. From Tim Dewberry, go Vols and Happy New Year. Go Big Orange, Happy New Year.
New Year.
Lamons Jr., what's going on, brother? Go Big Orange, and Happy New Year. Alex, with a whole bunch of numbers, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that, Alex. Appreciate you joining us. Happy New Year to you. Also from Lamons Jr. saying, so Mike is really gone officially, huh? No. So just to let y'all know, we don't know for sure what Mike Matthews is going to do. Feels like he is trending towards leaving, based off of everything that I've been seeing. He hasn't pulled his name out of the pile to get put into the transfer portal yet, and he definitely could have done that. Now maybe he's going to make us wait until the final hour. He could do it. I don't know. But I'm at this point, I'm looking at like, what are we going to do without Mike Matthews? Because I think that we got to start planning for that.
Yeah. So
that we don't get just caught in a really bad situation. CTB Spiffy said, I think we have to go all in on those brothers from USC. No doubt. Yes. We absolutely have to do that. Ethan right here saying Todd Simpson.
Okay.
So CTB Spiffy saying, true, we have to make some adjustments to our offense. Need to work in more tight end and running back screens too. Yeah, I would love to see especially more running back screens. Tennessee does not run nearly enough of that. We got to start to do everything. What I can't stand is any sort of a scheme that can't do everything. Like you need to say, hey, we can do it. You need to have that on film. Hey, guys, like we can try this, but at least make the coaches have to second guess it because like, okay, wow, if we do this, you know that they can do this, right? They haven't done it much, but they can do this. We got to start doing more of that. Like this shouldn't be high school ball.
The thing is, dude, this year we had a stable of running backs too.
Yep.
Peyton Lewis, obviously Sampson. But then, we got guys like Khalifa that we need to utilize and Cam Seldon. These people are utilizing the transfer portal because they're not getting played, waste of talent.
Yeah, it is. It's
true about a lot of positions.
All right. Okay, so from Tim Dewberry saying that the offensive line doesn't improve, it doesn't matter who we have at receiver. 100%, like that does need to get better. And I think that this is something too, y'all, is that people don't understand how much more time Nico actually had inside of the pocket, even though it doesn't feel like it. He had more time in the pocket than Hendon Hooker did. The difference is Hendon Hooker had more check down options than Nico did. And some of the stuff, especially early on, was on Nico, not really knowing how to go through his reads and stuff. And he still has been missing reads even in our final game. But things have to get better from several different perspectives. I don't think that it's 100% on the offensive line because football is a team game. The coaches, if you know that your offensive line is bad, don't you dare call a 5 to 7 step drop without max protection. Don't you dare. I mean, don't you dare try to do that. Don't even consider running digs. It's 3-step drops. And if they stop it, then they stop it. But we ain't about to get our quarterback hit. That's coaching, 100% coaching. I think that the offensive line can be better. Everybody needs to be better. All right. Let's come on down to my dog right here, 10 Vols 1084. Happy New Year, brothers. I joined late. Happy New Year to you as well, brother. Any updates on Mike Matthews? Is it a bad time that I'm souring on him? If you don't want to be a Vol, then good riddance. Yeah. So like we just kind of touched on, no real updates. The only updates that I've seen is that we might have until about 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for him to say, Tennessee, please don't put my name into the portal because I'm staying home. And if that doesn't happen, then he's probably gone. So sounds like he hasn't done that just yet. So he's probably gone. Unless we get some updates here from somebody inside of the chat. Right there from Ethan. All right, I'm gonna try to skip down and get to some of these. I'll try to get some of these new ones from some of these new people. From Don saying Tennessee is back. I sure hope so. I sure hope so, man. We're going to have to make some changes. Let's look at this one from Good Time Killer saying several NFL players talk highly about Pope. Yeah, and so this is the thing is that's kind of how football is. Like you'll hear people talk highly about a lot of coaches and things like that and players, and I mean you don't really hear too many folks getting badmouthed. Like that's not really what you do. And also the game can kind of pass you up. I think the times can kind of pass you up. I think the Coach Pope would have been great for like maybe the 90s or maybe early 2000s. But these kids are different. Like their expectations and how you deal with them, it's different. He might not have the personality based off of some of the things that I've been reading and stuff and seeing and hearing. Maybe his personality isn't quite fit to be able to mesh well with these wide receivers and stuff these days. It doesn't mean that he's not a good coach. I think that he is. I think he can be a very good coach. But you got to find a way to reach your players. You got to find a way to put anybody inside of this room can go out there and play. That's your job as a coach. And you don't make excuses like, oh, well, they ain't picking it up. They not this, they not that. Well, it's your job to get them there. That's why you get paid all that money is to get them there. And yeah, it's hard because they have a whole lot of other stuff that they have to deal with. All right, let's go ahead and transition, y'all, because I want to talk about some of these games coming up today. All right, we're going to get to that because I know the Bray probably wants to talk about that too. So bear with me for just a minute.
I'll probably run after this, after we talk about this. But yeah, this is
okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's probably going to be it. Actually, let me pull this up real quick. pull up these games. Just bear with me. All right, so these are the games coming up today at 1 p.m. We have Texas versus Arizona State. The game is going to be in ATL, Georgia. Texas is favored by 13 points, and the over-under is 52.5. Bray, who you got in this one?
I got Texas. I think they're just gonna be too physical. Just the talent level is too big of a gap for them to go out here and blow it. But I mean, they very could will. They very can. But I still think Texas will win this game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I haven't had a chance to watch much Arizona State. I wish I'd watched more film on them because I really don't know what they're about. But I mean, it's going to be tough.
They are very, very run heavy. They're going to run the football, and
so I don't know, man.
blitz too.
I think they're
I gotta, So I mean, I gotta go with Texas on this one. I just think there'll be too much up front defensively. But I don't think Texas is going to just light them on fire. Well, if Texas can run the ball, if Arizona State's D line isn't up to the challenge, then Texas will run all over them. And they'll win comfortably. But if Texas struggles a little bit to run the ball, this will be a much closer game. But I got Texas winning this because they got the better roster.
All right, Sean, who you got?
Yeah, I got Texas winning as well. This game is out here in our backyard, out here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I've been in the city this week, and I've seen a lot of Arizona State fans. So, the presence is going to be there, kind of like how Tennessee showed up for us. These fans are traveling, so it's going to be an overall exciting game. A name that keeps floating around in the city since I've been out this week is Scatterboo, the Arizona State running back. Like you said, they're a run-heavy team, but again, like Braylon was saying, I think it's just going to be a talent gap, and we're going to see kind of like what Ohio State did to us. I think it's going to be that type of game.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm going for Arizona State, but I don't really see them winning this one either. I think the Texas will end up winning. They got a very easy roll. Let's go on to the next one, though. At 5 p.m., the sorry-ass Buckeyes, the overrated-ass, hey, we're going to beat our chest because we ain't used to winning a daggum thing, because we ain't used to it. We ain't used to it. So we're going to go to other folks' channels, other teams' channels, and we're going to talk a whole bunch of smack because we was quiet before the game. We're going to be front-running cowards. Reminds me a whole lot of UGA. They're playing. Where's this game? This game's going to be in Pasadena, California. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve that weather versus Oregon. And the over-under is, the Buckeyes are favored by 2.5 points. And the over-under is going to be 55.5. Who do y'all have in this one, Bray?
I got Oregon. They're going to beat them. I just think, Dylan Gabriel, Evan Stewart, Hez Johnson, that whole receiving core is too much for Ohio State DBs. And I just feel like, Oregon's just a better team. They got a better coach. I mean, it's just a lot of things going for Oregon. I think they're going to beat them twice in 1 year. Give me Oregon 45-31.
Oh, wow. Okay. I like it. P.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to roll with Oregon too. I think Ohio State probably has the best roster in the country. So I mean, they could potentially beat any team that's left. But I've been saying all along that I think the winner of the whole thing is coming out of this little triangle between Tennessee, Ohio State, Oregon. Mm-hmm. Tennessee obviously went up to the challenge, but I think Oregon will win this one. Too much on offense. I think their defense is good enough. And I think they have better coaches that are going to actually have something dialed up, make adjustments, and play these guys to actually beat them and not just be happy they're on the same field as these guys. So I got Oregon winning this one, and I think they'll win it probably bigger than they did last time. Last time was a 1-point game. I think they'll win by probably like 2 scores.
Okay, Sean, who you got?
Man, I'm split on this one. I'm gonna be honest because as we saw Ohio State, what they did to us, obviously, I feel like that kind of revitalized its offense in a way because they came off a loss against
Michigan.
Yeah, so this kind of gave them that boost they needed. So I mean, I did have Oregon winning the national championship. They were my original pick. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, this guy just makes the least mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a quarterback like that on your team. I'm more than likely going to pick you, but again, I'm just kind of split on this one. I do have Oregon winning, but don't be surprised if Ohio State kind of shows up for this game.
Oh yeah. So for me, last time that they played, I watched that film a million freaking times. Oregon was so ready for them. It's like everything that they did, like everything that Tennessee didn't do, like us getting outflanked. Oregon never did that. Just almost everything. Like throwing the ball at those cornerbacks that absolutely suck. I mean, Oregon did that. Oregon definitely did that, and they're gonna do it again. But think about it, the last time that they played, Ohio State had their full offensive line with Simmons at left tackle, and then that center. Yeah, from Buford High School, he was starting at center. Those two guys are out. Oregon did a good job of getting pressure on the Buckeyes' sorry-ass quarterback, and they're going to do it again. And, Howard.
Oregon's thing right in. I think his name's like Jordan Burch or something. He didn't play. I don't think he played the first.
He didn't. Oh, okay. Okay.
I think he's playing today, so that's it.
He's going to be back. So I think that this one, I'm thinking that Oregon is going to show and prove everything that we've talked about with the Buckeyes. They're not that damn good, and it's going to make me it's going to piss me off even more. I woke up ready for it, so that's kind of why I'm fired up at this whole staff, because you're going to embarrass us twice. We're not even playing today, because Oregon's about to come out here and show you just how overrated Ohio State's coaching staff is. Because on paper, yeah, I mean, they've got all the dudes, but they've also got a ton of weaknesses. And I think that Oregon's going to exploit that today. I have them winning this one for sure. I don't know about how many points, but I do have them winning this one. P, you might be right, maybe bigger than they did before. Let's come on down to the one at 8:45 that everybody's waiting on, Notre Dame versus Georgia. This game's going to be in New Orleans, and I want to send I want to send all of our thoughts and prayers out to everyone that's dealing with the issue down there. It's senseless violence. But this one right here is Georgia's favored by 1 point. The over/under is 45.5. Bray, who do you got on this one?
I know I got Georgia. It's like I feel like it's like two very similar teams, and then Georgia has more talent. And I don't really know who Notre Dame played this year. I'm gonna be honest.
Nobody.
They haven't played anybody. So new quarterback Gunnar Stockton. So I think it's gonna be more of a low scoring game, but I think it's gonna be like a 17-7 type of game, something like that. But yeah, go Dogs. I got Georgia winning.
All right, Pete, who you got?
Yeah, I feel very similar to you, Bray. Two very similar teams. One just has way more talent than the other. Now, again, SEC hasn't looked great in these ball games. You can't take a ton from these ball games. So, I mean, how much better is the SEC than some of these other teams that Notre Dame may have played? You really don't know until these two teams play each other. One thing I do know, and I hate to say it, Kirby Smart, when he has time to prepare, I think this will be 4, maybe even 5 weeks he's had to prepare for this game, or I guess 3 weeks since he officially knew it was Notre Dame that he'd be preparing for. Expect them to come out here for a good game plan and to be freaking ready. I mean, they're always ready. When they have a long time, they're always ready. And hey, they have an issue with the quarterback, a whole new quarterback, whatever. I guarantee you they're going to have a plan in place, and it's going to be a little bit different than what we've seen from them in the past. It's probably going to be effective, and they're probably going to look pretty decent. So I got Georgia winning this one, unfortunately, but definitely rooting for Notre Dame to pull the upset.
Yep. Sean.
Yeah, I like Georgia in this game. So Carson Peck isn't playing, correct?
He's done. Yeah, he's done.
So, I don't know much about this other quarterback that Georgia's playing. So, again, this game could go either way. If you got somebody that's at the quarterback that's the leader of the team and it's he makes mistakes, it could go either way. So, just be mindful of that.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah, I got Georgia winning this one too. I mean, I think that they are. To me, Notre Dame is very, 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 very overrated. They can do some nice things. I don't believe in their passing game, not one bit. But the thing about it is I think they do have a pretty good running game. I like their offensive line. Georgia's run defense hasn't been great this whole season. But the problem is going to be whenever they have to drop back to pass. Now, that quarterback, what's his name? Riley Hamilton or something?
Riley Leonard.
Oh, okay. So Riley Leonard, he's going to have to use his legs. He's going to have to be a baller. He can't play tight. He can't play scared. Because P, like I said, Georgia will have a very good game plan, offense, defense, special teams. And, hate to say it, but we need a coach like that is not just going to come out and completely and totally lay eggs. I mean, now, this is the saddest part about it, y'all. I don't even think that Kirby Smart's that damn good of a coach. I just think that there are so many bad coaches on, really good programs that he looks like a freaking juggernaut. But there's some coaches. I mean, there's people out there who know how to coach. We got to go find them because I don't know how many of them we have right now. We got some. I don't think that we have enough. So anyway, I hate to make this about us, but yeah, I guess give me Georgia win. Hopefully Notre Dame can pull it out.
We can't settle for mediocre anymore. Like I feel like we're at hypo's ceiling right now.
No.
I feel we got that coaching staff. We got to really look at this coaching staff, and hypo's really got to sit down with some guys and make some decisions, make some cuts. You know, like get aggressive. I just don't. You know, we're used to, you know, real Tennessee fans are used to Coach Fulmer, you know, Johnny Majors, you know what I'm saying, like Robert Nealon, and that those type. I just don't feel like we've had that in Heupel. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
why.
yeah, I mean, so Heupel, I think that Heupel is not so. What Heupel needs to do is he needs to make some changes, Sean, like you said, to his staff, because
Right.
really, whenever you're the head coach, they got so much going on. You can't coach everything, but you have to be able to hire the people who can get things done. And I think that Heupel gets it. I think a lot of our staff does get it, but we got to make just a few changes here and there. And y'all will be surprised. It's a game of inches. You make a couple of little tweaks here and there, how huge of a difference that can make, and how huge of a difference I think that it will make. I'm just going to be, until I start to see the changes happening, I'm going to be very, very sour on, you know, a whole lot of this stuff. But please don't get it twisted. I always rock with my Vols. I always got everybody's back. I want to see the best for everybody. I just want to see us win. To me, the best for everybody is winning. You know, I mean, winning is fun. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we teach these kids. They talk about, oh, you know, we want to have fun. Winning is fun. Winning is fun. Okay. So anyway, though, that's pretty much it for this one. Those are our thoughts. Please share yours with us down in the comments section. Sorry we could not get to more of these chats, but we will be seeing y'all a little bit later on, probably tomorrow or so. We hope that y'all enjoy New Year's Day. Everyone, please do be safe. Again, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Come on.